tragic accidents just happen all the time in Carroll County. I'm just saying. It's a very, very unlucky place to live. They dropped the charges because it was accidental. You don't accidentally run over somebody and back up and try to do it again. Let's start from the beginning as investigative reporters, right? So you would ask the questions who, what, where, when, and why. Should be easy, right? Of course it is. Yes, I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what good does that do you if you are not alive?
Well, hello, my silky friends. How are you doing? It's a beautiful Sunday. The sun came out, so it actually is a Sunday. Thank goodness. Ugh. Yesterday was awful. We had some rain, but it's pretty good. And to all my very shady enemies, hello to you too, and happy Sunday. Hello. Let me say hello to everybody. Jill Moser, hello, good to see you. Linda K. You love my introduction, Linda K. I'm getting tired of it. I think I'm going to do another one. I need something. I've been using it for months now. Mother of Dragons, good to see you. Janine Anderson would have to pay money to watch guys. Which guys? I don't want to know. Anyway, hello. I know everybody's going different directions. It's a Sunday, beautiful evening, and if you are out with your families, and don't stop to watch this, okay? Catch it on the replay. I don't care at all. Want you to enjoy family time. It's important. I had my family time today. I got up early, caught the early service at church, and then went to brunch with my kids, and sat in the sun, took a nap. It was a good day. Oh, and I'll just show y'all something before we get started. My daughter brought me this. Look, product placement. It's very important. Can y'all see what this is? This is, hold on. I'm doing everything backwards. Okay. This is why I don't do commercials. Okay, this is pickle flavored cotton candy. Yeah. And my daughter, she loves anything that's dill pickle flavored. And so she's like, try this. You're going to love it. And she was kidding. She hates it. Absolutely hates it. I, on the other hand, love it. This is some cool stuff. I don't like cotton candy because I don't like the texture, but I will eat this. It's sweet, but it has a very strong dill pickle flavor, but it doesn't taste like sweet pickles, which I detest. So, I don't know. It's weird. Don't know where she got it. It's crazy. Hello, Buckeye. Yeah, tonight I'm going to cover, I thought I was done with Mica for a day or two, and I realized there was a piece of paper that I did not show y'all, and then I came across some other videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I don't stop and do this now, it's going to be too much for another live. And I am going to do Delphi. So, hello, Samantha. Good to see you. So, I'm going to say something here. I think I'll start with Delphi because that's shorter. All right. It's, we're all looking at the same thing. Whether it's Delphi, it's kind of weird because Delphi I thought was going to be a completely different thing because it's a whole different case. But then when I was looking at the Mica stuff, I kept coming on the money trail. The money trail. How many times have I said it? If you want to know the truth about anything, almost anything, there are a few exceptions. But let's say at least 98, 99% of the time, if you want to find the truth, follow the money, you will find it. So, as it happens, the topic was both blood money. So, I'm going to go ahead and get Delphi out of the way first because, y'all know, Delphi community, y'all know I love you. I do. But y'all little heathens probably aren't in church right now, so I'm going to go ahead and do Delphi, and then we'll talk about Mica Miller. Oh my gosh. I hope nobody's offended at that. Y'all know I love you. There are some characters in Delphi, I'll tell you that. But what I wanted to do, and what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks is, all right, if you are new to the Delphi case, stay away. Just stay away. But I've been covering this case for like a year and a half now. And most of my stuff has been, all my old stuff is mostly Delphi. But I came to a conclusion last year when I first started going live, because if y'all remember, I did like videos for about a year, almost a year. And before I actually went live, I was terrified to go live. And one of my first lives was with a creator called Misbehaved. And Miss B, if you ever see this live, I would love to do another live with you. I love her stuff. Love her. She's a sweetheart. Hello, Hiawatha. But last year, I had a very strong theory on what was going on with Delphi. Because you have to take all of the things, all of the tentacles, as Doug Carter says, and you have to follow the money. So, and I'm not sure that we won't find some connections, not from Indiana necessarily. Although, let me just tell you right now, it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me with Delphi. But we might find some of the same kind of issues going on with Mica Miller, because anytime you're talking about organized crime, which I believe is happening, my theory, allegedly, this may show up again. Yes, Hiawatha, Miss B has been putting out videos, and I've watched every single one of them. But this was a conversation between me and Misbehaved last year. And so I want to show you this because it's very, very important. This is the theory, all right? Because to me, y'all know we have gone down every rabbit hole that you could possibly go down, right? Including the Odinists and the ritual, the occult rituals. And I'm not saying that doesn't play a part, but I don't think it is the driving force. So let me see. All right. Make sure y'all can see this. All right. This is going to be about 9 minutes. I'm not going to play you this whole thing, but I want to reiterate to you all, my theory has not changed. And I think as you go along, as more people actually look at this, and the more people I know that really study this case, I think we're all coming to this right here. Well, let me see if I can play it. Well, so I came across, this is like, look, this is like Gang 101, all right? So y'all, this is where I started, and this is like, I don't know, a minute, maybe a minute and a half. Let me see if I can play this. Well,
is a small group of leaders who made decisions about alliances and assassinations. Lieutenants delegate the orders of the command, overseeing intelligence, finances, and training. Hitmen do the dirty work, carrying out executions, kidnappings, torture sessions, and territorial violence. At the fringes, 4 different types of groups operate. Hawks are paid to keep watch over borders and distribution centers. They make a call if something unusual happens, like an increase in border inspections. Leopards are prostitutes who act as spies, gathering intelligence from their clients about the cartel's enemies. Acquisitions get arms and ammunition to the cartels, primarily from the United States. Communications intercept phone calls, tail suspects, and sometimes are involved with the bloodier crimes. The drug trade in Mexico employs 500,000 people. The cartels pay people from all kinds of backgrounds, including Americans, to smuggle drugs across the border. The most common way for drugs to enter the US is in the back of a truck. Only 20% of trucks crossing the border into the United States are inspected. An estimated 95% of the cocaine entering the US passes through Mexico. Mexico also supplies 80% of our meth and up to 2/3 of our marijuana. At the busiest border crossing in Texas, a truck enters the country every 15 seconds. Despite appearances, drug cartels are not impenetrable. Instead of the kingpin strategy, which creates violence, the International Drug Policy Consortium advocates targeting the middle.
Okay, that's where I left off with editing that down from. I stole that.
Yeah, that's it. It's very, I mean, it's true, all of it, but so you're wondering if like they're somehow that tied into it?
Well, when I was watching this video trying to get an education on gangs, I noticed all the different players, okay?
Yeah.
And, you have females, males, you have ones that do this and do that. And so I started, which brings me to my next video. I started looking at, okay, and that was talking about the Mexican cartel, how it's changed from being the big kingpin to more leaders.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can
and more
get this
spread
one.
out.
Yes. So then I started thinking about, okay, all right, if we have a different kind of gang, then what if there are a lot of players? So I started looking up connections, and this one is just maybe a little bit longer. I kind of chopped it up, but I found this, and this is talking about Italy, but I'm not naive enough to think that, what goes on in Italy isn't mirrored over here. So let me see if I can get this. Let me get this back to
hierarchy.
Wow. You see, I've always had these issues.
That was a faster one.
The mafia has initiation rituals and rules of behavior rooted in secrecy.
In Italy, the bond between Freemasonry and mafia groups in the South has a long, complicated history. And both have a long, contentious relationship with the pillars of Italian political and commercial society. One where rumors of collusion and corruption are never too far from the surface.
The fact that the 'Ndrangheta is well connected and deeply rooted in the society, with connection to politicians, businessmen, police officer, magistrate, judges, and that's the strain of the mafia.
In a wiretapped conversation in 2013, one 'Ndrangheta boss, Pantaleone Mancuso, summed up the relationship. The 'Ndrangheta is no longer, he said. The Freemasons remain. In 2017, a series of police raids discovered 193 high-ranking members of the Sicilian Mafia and the Calabrian 'Ndrangheta to be members of lodges across the South. According to the work of dogged prosecutors and the testimony of mob turncoats, the secrecy of Masonic lodges provided the perfect place to conduct shady deals with figures from the business and political elite.
Okay. Okay, let me. All right. Is everybody hearing again?
Yeah, I
Are
can
we
hear you.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm learning this StreamYard part on the fly here. Much easier, I might say. So yeah, I mean, basically that video is talking about how um the Freemasons and the Italian gangs and law enforcement and business owners and public officials are all tied in together. And like she said at the end, one of the reasons that they are drawn to joining with the Freemason group is because of the nature, the secrecy, that they automatically have. Their buildings, everything is secret. So it's a good
It's very
place to
weird.
yeah, you can have clandestine meetings in there.
Yeah.
So, I started thinking about the enforcers, the leaders, the whole gang culture. It would take, if you want to talk tentacles, let's say the business is drug trafficking and or CSAM.
Uh-huh.
And I think, they probably make money in a lot of different ways. But it makes sense to me that when Doug Carter is talking about tentacles, and you can't really arrest one person because if it is spread out and you have a little bit, I'm not saying that everybody is uh, involved, not all of law enforcement, not all of public
Right.
officials,
Right.
but if you have that core, and you already know the Freemasons aren't going to tell on each other.
Right.
And if they're all involved, they can't.
Get down.
So it made sense to me that it's a whole network, which is why it's hard to put this puzzle together, because you look at this and you look at that and you're like, well, it could be, but what if it all is? What if the tentacles are all a big group?
Well, I believe that, I mean, it's possible because when I told you, remember when I told you I found something that I was going to send to you because I thought you would present it better than me.
Mhm.
It started in Minnesota or Minnesota or I think Minnesota, but it's a CSAM ring that they actually do this stuff films. But it started like in 78 or something like that, and it still is going today. But it went clear over to all the other countries, and there's so many people involved, and it's so detailed. But it's just crazy because it started right here,
Okay. Well, let me try to get back. Oh no, I lost y'all. There we go. Okay, I can see you now. So yeah, hello. Let me go back just a little bit because I couldn't see chat for just a minute. I know Cherry's in here. Hello, Cherry. Hello, Mythical. Hello, Yoli Yo. Luke Nicholas. It's a huge compliment to compare Indiana thugs to the Italian mafia. Well, here's the thing though. Let me catch up. Since this time, I've realized how much of crime in general is mirrored. Either like Miss B was saying, something started in Minnesota and then, went to Europe, and it's kind of like that, okay? And then Europe pulls, we pull from Europe. Now, it started out talking about the Mexican cartel, but what has happened, and if you want to go back and watch this whole, we talked for 2 hours on this subject. So, I mean, that's like a year ago. It's the one it says with misbehaved. And the thing of it is that whereas when you see things like, the old mafia, like The Godfather and stuff like that, you had like one person in charge. And then what happens when that person passes away, whether it's by criminal, unaliving, or whether they just, pass away? you have all these underlings who fight to be the mafia boss, right? So a lot of times groups got divided and stuff like that. So what the cartels realized, because they're trying to improve their business. Maybe they wrote out a business plan. I don't know. But what they found is that having one kingpin, not such a good idea if something happens. So what they decided to do is have multiple leaders in different sections. Okay, so as you saw in that little like cartoon video, you have the person who's really in charge of that group, and then they named all the different people. I can't even remember them now. The enforcers. They do the dirty work. The leopards, those are the women that are gathering intel, and, they probably have their own business model, but whatever. And so, you have all of these people. Now, I think most of us, even with all of the fighting and craziness, because, you have so many people on, oh, it's the Odinists. Oh, it's the Vinlanders. Oh, it's, the substance trafficking and the manufacturing and stuff like that. I think this is why it hasn't been solved, okay? Because it's all of that. But if you look at the cartel model, all right, I don't think that the business of the substances, I'm saying substances, but I am saying also Indiana is huge for moving humans, all right? So you have a lot of missing people, you have a lot of that stuff going on, so they're obviously going to broaden their business base. Does that make sense? Delphi is small. I mean, how big of a business can you actually have if you are just in, a small area in Carroll County and, even up as far as the surrounding counties? If you want to expand your business, you're going to have to be involved in more of the things like, I'm bringing it back to Boys on the Tracks. Another series I did, y'all. It's classic, and that was going on in Arkansas, went all the way to Washington. So, you're looking at a whole bunch of people that could, and I think does, include some of the enforcers could be the Vinlanders, all right, to the 1%ers of the motorcycle gangs, and or the Odinists, because a lot of those cross over. Y'all know, I could start naming names of how many Vinlanders are also Odinists, y'all know who they are. And that's the thing. It's not, and you heard her say when they were talking about basing how the Italian mafia works, you have law enforcement, you have business owners, you have politicians, okay? It's everywhere. And you have key people. And I think that's why some of us Delphi creators get some things right, 100%. And in this video that I did with Miss B, I also go into some of the suspects, their pictures, their MOs, stuff that I still believe that these people could likely be involved. Now, there are a couple of people I am pretty sure are involved that I have never named, but I can't prove it, so, you're right, Samantha. Throw all the ingredients together and you get one huge corrupt sus cake. Yes. Oh. I love that. Hold on. Let me show you my sus cake. We got the sus cakes going on. I don't get to use that very much. I just forget about it. But yeah. But you see what I'm saying? This is why it is so difficult to solve, because everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And are they going to, is Richard Allen, people have said, possibly smurfing. I don't know. He could have been. I do not know. Let's see. Let me see what y'all are saying. Oh yeah. Now let's bring in this. Luke, it says they don't have to in murder cases, but in other cases they do. That's part of the vows that they take. And I mean, and look, I'm not saying that, and I've said this a million times. Not all Freemasons are bad. Not all Freemasons are evil. It's just like anything else. But do a lot of them protect each other? You betcha. You betcha. But I think it's not just, this is just my opinion. I think it's not just the Freemasons just because you're a Freemason, but let's say you are like Brad Holder. You're an Odinist. You're a Freemason. And then you have some other people that may be involved in some of this. If you have any law enforcement that are involved in taking a cut of the proceeds of the illegal businesses, and your Masons, I mean, take your pick. You're not going to tell for whatever reason. But yeah, but the thing of it is, and the point I wanted to make with the whole Italy thing is they found that a lot of these cartel people were using, I'm not saying that the Freemasons were there at the time. I don't know. But they used their buildings for meetings and stuff like that because nobody is messing with the Freemasons. You just think whatever's going on, it's a secret club. Nobody's really asking a whole lot of questions, which makes it very, very easy to do things like that. It's not like, they could just, meet in the Walmart parking lot. Okay. You got to have a little bit of cover. So this is what I've been saying. It's a whole group of people. And I wanted to show y'all that because, of the Delphi Wars, the Delphi dumpster fire. If y'all, anybody who is not familiar with Delphi, I used to say it was a very interesting case. It is the case that I have been so involved in. But if you're not connected to it, just stay away. It's terrible. It is a horrible, horrible community. It is a pit. So now I'm just too far in it. But that's why there are so many other cases that are very, very important. Mica Miller being top of my list right now. And that's why I'm backing off of Delphi until something happens. But, I talk to a lot of people behind the scenes, other creators and stuff. And I think even those people who aren't saying it, I think that we're all kind of coming to that conclusion in the depths of our soul. Like, there's just too many. There's too many angles. There's too many possible perpetrators. There's just too much going on. It has to be organized. I don't think anybody's out there just, just covering for no reason or whatever. I believe it's organized crime. That is my opinion. So I wanted to show y'all that because a lot of people who are new to this community did not see that last year. So I kept telling you, I am going to do this. Hello, hello. Rabbit. Rabbit, rabbit. All right. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Does that resonate with you? And this right here, okay? Not only, I did that little video yesterday while I had just rolled off the couch to the video. So yeah, I wasn't put together. But this is what scares me for the creators. All right. Look, I do not agree with everything that everybody does, even people who have been on this platform, on my panel with me. All right. I can't justify everything that people do, but I do have just from humanity's sake, I have a lot of fear for some of these people that are, fighting with each other. And who was it? Somebody put a comment on one of my videos somewhere in the last 24 hours. And they said that, now I don't know if this was from a psychic, a seer, I don't know. Somebody predicted, okay? They said it was a prediction, so I don't know what that means. That there were two things that one of the criminals, a creator, would get too far involved in this to try to mess it up and cover it up. And the second thing that this person predicted was that one creator would be unalived by another one. Well, I had never heard that before, but I can tell you that first one has already happened. If you don't know, just keep going. Just keep swimming. Just swim away. But yeah, the first one's already happened, and it really, I didn't know that about the second. And I don't know if this person is very accurate or not, but I can see where we're going. And if you are part of the Delphi community and you're watching all this, you know where it's going too. Hello, Terry. Did I say hello to you? I don't even know if I did. Okay, so that resonates with you. See, that I second guessed myself after I did that live. I second guessed myself a whole bunch of times, especially when the whole Odinist thing came out. Hello, Kayla. But the more I go in, I've circled back around, because as I talk with other people, nothing else makes sense. Yes, there are snakes and spies among us, 100%. Absolutely. It's like I told somebody yesterday. Somebody was texting me, and I said, don't trust anybody in the Delphi community. Nobody, 100% nobody. That's okay, y'all. Yeah, you just do whatever. Do whatever. I agree, Buckeye. Evil has been busy infiltrating almost every institution we have. Yeah, absolutely. Rabbit says, I've been a mostly silent Delphi watcher for years. Hey, that's the safest way to do it. I've seen just about every video on the subject I could find. What? I've seen people eating earwax talking about what? What? No. Are you serious? Is that like a play on words? Or are you literally serious? Because that's just, you chatted with a criminal side. I can't even with that. I'm like, whoa. Oh my gosh. I agree. Something's definitely going on, and it seems there are some very powerful people involved. 100%, and that is why, that's why I think we've got somebody in jail who, if he is involved at all, and I don't know, it's not looking like they have any good evidence against him, but if he is involved in some way, he's certainly not the only one, and they are going to, I guarantee you, they're going to pin it on him. Whether he is found guilty or innocent, they're going to say it was him. Case closed. Single perpetrator. And it's going to go away. They don't want this case solved. Hello, Jen. The thing of it is somebody was telling me the other day about, a lot of creators are, really digging into this case, trying to solve it because of the reward money, which is like $300,000. I'm like, Y'all really think Delphi, Carroll County's going to pay you? If I walked up with solid evidence against somebody today, there is no way I would see that reward money. No way. They're not going to pay it. They're too busy paying Slick Nick now. It happened. That's probably what they're using to help fund the prosecution's bills right now. I mean, come on. Do you think they're going to be? I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. So, like, yeah. If you're a Delphi creator, be happy with trying to find the truth, okay? Because that's about all we can hope for. They will never give that money. Not sure any still exists. I agree. I don't think it exists. I think it was gone a long time ago. Johnny Davis. It seems that there is more unsaid than said. Absolutely. 100%. And a couple weeks ago, Four Pits was on here. I know, whatever. Some people love him, some people hate him. I love Four Pits. I do. We've always, gotten along really well. And so many people. Whoa, what a hornet's nest that stirred up. I can't vet anything. All right. I don't know. I don't live there. But what I can say is it takes a lot of strength and a lot of nerve to get up and name names, okay, and say what he did. Because we all know, if you're, even me, far away in Alabama, we all know how dangerous it is to get that deep into the Delphi situation. So please, y'all, prayers for Four Pits. Samantha, you got that right. They sure aren't using the money to train law enforcement to back up data. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, if y'all don't know, they can't seem to have a record of anything. No video files on any interview. Isn't that strange? I wonder how that happens. No one will get that money, but I do hope people don't stop, because this is going on all over, not just Delphi. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I wonder where that reward fund is going. Another Flora situation? I think absolutely. I don't know. Was there a limit? If y'all know about the Flora fire, all the money that was raised for a reward fund went back to the fire department that was at the very least inept. They were horrendous. They were horrendous in that situation. So yeah, after 3 years, wasn't it 3 years? If they did not solve it, the fire department got it. So I'm telling you, that money's gone. All right. So I am going to switch now. I don't have anybody yelling and screaming anything about Delphi. So there you go. This is my official statement on what do I think happened in Delphi. I think it's that. Could I sit here and name names that I think are involved? Absolutely. Will I? No. I have named some names before that could allegedly be involved. But I don't have a whole lot of solid evidence to prove that, other than their characters and kind of where they were at the time and where they weren't at the time and what happened around that time. So I'm going to just leave it until I can find something more solid. Buckeye, their Ellie sounds kind of like Nashville. Oh, I'm glad you said Nashville. Okay. Because, let me show you this. I did not have time to get slides up for this. Just want to let you see this guy right here. And y'all know how I am with product placement. Can y'all see? And get this guy's face. Let me do some other pictures. Maybe you can see that one a little bit better. And this one right here. I will put a TikTok out or a community post or both. Let me tell you about this guy right here. His name is Christopher Frankenberry. Is that a cereal? Seriously. I just now thought about that. Christopher Frankenberry, he was last seen at Centennial Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee on 5/31/24 wearing a black Hollister hoodie and black ripped jeans. He's 5'7", blonde hair, blue eyes, 125 pounds. Again, we're talking about a small person. By the way, the last person I talked about, Ben, oh my gosh. They found him. So that's good. I have no idea where he was, what was going on. Nothing except the family said he's been found. Okay, so they're saying that Christopher is autistic and has a congenital heart disease. Please be aware of these conditions should you make contact with him, as he may be in need of medical treatment. Okay. I thought it said how old he was. I believe he is a teenager as well. I have to go back. I can't find the original. I'll have to go back to Facebook. I'm going to put his picture up here one more time so y'all can see. If you are in the Nashville area, sorry about the glare. If you are in the Nashville area, you get one more better picture of him. Okay. What is it with these people missing in Tennessee, these boys? And there's another autistic one like Sebastian Rogers. Just FYI, I know some people have wondered why I'm not covering Sebastian. I will not cover Sebastian Rogers anymore. It's terrible. That community is getting almost, not quite, but almost as toxic as Delphi, and I do not need that in my life. No, they're on their own. And I think probably a lot of creators are getting like that. It's ridiculous. I feel sorry for Sebastian for being in that situation with all of them. You know, it's my opinion. So I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to cover Sebastian anymore, and unless they find him, and then I will report on that. But let's see. Let me catch up with y'all. Hello, Kay Miller. What's up? Good to see ya. Yes, I agree. Something is extremely wrong in Tennessee. Children going missing and never recovered. Something ain't right there. Yeah. What? I'm so sorry, Rabbit. See, but that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying right there. And people can be so mean in chat. Like, I'm gonna just tell y'all, just a disclaimer, because I've been in different, I go sometimes in Delphi chats and different chats. I don't usually stay long in anything, but I've noticed that people have, just so y'all know, let me put it out here. People have names. Your screen name can be anything. Some are similar to mine, like Sassy, Spicy, whatever, Southern something. And I see people being rude sometimes to these people. And I'm like, yeah, let me say, if I ever go into a chat, I go in as Silky Southern Tea. Okay? So, y'all who are mean to some other people, they have nothing to do with me, okay? Not a thing. I'm not gonna hide. All right? So please leave these people alone. If they have similar names to mine, it's not me. Promise you, it's not me. I am bold enough to put my own name out there if I got something to say. Summer Wells, the fire department took it too. Really? Look, I'm telling you. Yeah, there's something very wrong going on in Tennessee, and I hope that they find this Christopher Frankenberry, and and it doesn't have to be a search. But if it does have to be a search, I want to be there, and I hope it's not as toxic as Sebastian. Nashville was beautiful around 15 years ago. Delphi is the only crazy case anyone needs to take on. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? If you're not there, if you hadn't been there, just keep swimming. Keep swimming. All right. Okay, I'm going to switch over to Mica Miller. And let me just say something. That live that I did last night really turned into, y'all know, it turned into a lot of stuff that I didn't expect. Like, you never know with a live. You never know where it's going. But what I realized when I got offline, I was thinking there are a lot of hurting people in this chat tonight. There are a lot of people who have dealt with some kind of abuse, whether it's church abuse or narcissistic abuse or, stuff like that. And I just want to say thank you for the ones that did speak out. Thank you for sharing and, just kind of getting it out there. Just, sometimes it's maybe easier to talk in a chat than it is to a live person, because nobody really knows you and you can express stuff. And it made me wonder, and y'all tell me, and you can private message me, you can put a comment down or whatever. It made me wonder if we need to have a little chat group, and I mean like this, but not public. And I can't do it really on YouTube's platform because the only way you can do that is to have a membership, which y'all have to pay for, and I'm not trying to do that. I was just wondering if anybody wants to do this kind of thing where we talk privately and just kind of encourage each other. I'm up for that, but somebody needs to tell me what platform we can do that on. But I am definitely up for that. Yeah, there was a lot of people. Yes. Let's see, where was I? It's so hard to catch a comment sometimes before it rolls up. Yeah. Thank you to everybody who did share. And I shared too much. But, there we go. Hello, Christy B. All right, so I'm gonna stop and change directions right now. Oh my goodness. Where do I start with Mica? Because I've got several things y'all know, and it's just kind of coming out now. I'm seeing other people talk about this. Let me see what I've got pulled up here. Let me get rid of that. Let's start with this. This is one document that I did not read out yesterday. And I'm sorry. It's just not easy to see. But this is again from Allison. All right, and I knew I had this somewhere, and why I didn't. This is just interesting. Okay, let's just throw this out there, and then we're gonna go on with some other stuff. All right, starting at number 14, JP begins spending time with his now paramour, Susie. Now we know who that is, Susie Skinner. Again, paramour. Makes it sound so nice, doesn't it? It's not a nice thing, but lover. French for lover. Who was the mother of one of the 3 boys that plays on our son's soccer team. JP began using our son to facilitate times he could spend with Susie, which our children were well aware of. Can you imagine your kids know? That's very disturbing. Their friends talked about it, and it caused them a tremendous amount of embarrassment. I can imagine. I literally can imagine that, okay? I'm not going to overshare again tonight, but I can literally imagine that because I've been there. When I learned JP was exposing our children to yet another one of his adulterous affairs, I confronted JP and Susie and told them not to let it happen again. Now, okay, let me just stop right here because, everybody's been saying, oh, they're just friends. They're just friends. That's what she's saying. That's what everybody's saying, right? And he's saying, we're just friends. I mean, it's right here in the papers. Their kids knew and were embarrassed. Again, this is the affidavit. So she confronted him and said, don't let it happen again. Well, you got so much more grace and peace and fortitude than I do. Woo. JP called me the day Susie's husband died in an alleged drowning accident, extremely upset and asking me to pray, which was incredibly bizarre. Yeah, I mean, look, this, her husband is innocent in this, but your husband is having an affair with this woman, and then there's another innocent party, the husband, who is, involved here. He passes away, but you are what? You are going to call your wife that you're cheating on, and you have the freaking audacity to ask her to pray for your paramour's husband, or her paramour and the whole family. Really? Does this not scream malignant narcissism? I'm saying it absolutely does. I mean, the nerve, the absolute unmitigated gall to say something like that. Based upon information and belief, just 2 weeks prior to this incident, Susie's husband had confronted JP and asked him to leave his wife and children alone. Now, that's not a big sus cake, is it? It's chilling to know that the spouses of both coincidence? I don't think so. It was around this time JP's mental health seemed to be really spiraling out of control. He began acting even more bizarre. He informed me that he was getting into buying guns and shooting and had purchased a gun safe for his home. As a convicted felon, he is not allowed to have weapons. However, he managed to get a police chief from the church to assist with expunging his record. Here we go. We got another expunging going on because, let me change this up. I can't see. We have another expunging going on, right? Just like Wayne did. Monkey see, monkey do. Well, Daddy did it. This is the way he did it. When he got into some big fat trouble and it looked really, really bad, I guess you pay certain people. I guess you know who to go to get it expunged. I mean, y'all, it's like JP's past is making this case so easy. It's not Delphi. This is easy. You can see where this is going. As a convicted felon, Because we already know he had that. Remember, he ran over somebody. He had a long list of battery and, all kind of crimes already. And he had wanted his civil rights back. Remember? We did that episodes ago. He was a convicted felon. He's not allowed to have weapons. No, you're not. However, he managed to get a police chief from the church. Oh my goodness. So now here is, in black and white, Ellie involvement. Interesting. How well do you know the Ellie and Robeson County? Do those ones in Horry County, do they associate with the ones in North Carolina in Robeson County? All right. So he was given a special police badge that says pastor to utilize if he ever gets pulled over, so they will let him go. What? I can tell you what, I don't know, but I don't think my pastor has a police badge for that. You're sitting here looking at this, and it's like you can see the corruption. You don't even have to dig that far, all right? And I'm like, is it Horry County? I say it with the H. Sorry. I like Horry County. The H is silent. Okay. Yeah, but there you go. You have somebody with so much nerve and so much gall that you're parading your paramour out in public sporting events with your children there. Your children know and are embarrassed. People are talking. They're making fun of, like, come on. You're going to subject your children to this, and then when the spouse of the paramour passes away, you're going to call your wife and ask her to pray? Like, I really don't know where some people get the audacity. I mean, can you just buy that by the gallons? Because I think, he's got a whole stockpile. He's just been stockpiling that audacity for years. I couldn't even imagine doing something like that. Okay, let me go back to what you're saying, especially Greg is saying, where was that? That they have, there it is. They have, Horry County has a long list of abuses. Does not surprise me. Rabbit, yes, I do. I hear it all the time. But if you don't know this about me, I work in a jail. I work at the county jail, and I'm a nurse there. I hear it every day. Every day. You do. You just dissociate. You're like, okay, whatever. Let's see. How far apart are the counties? Well, I don't know how far they are in miles. If somebody knows, please put it up there. But they said it was, that Mica drove about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to Lumber River. So, I'm thinking they're not that far. I don't know how long it would take to get across my county. I guess it depends on from where to where, but I'm guessing to go across my county would be about 45 minutes. But, during the 911 call, if y'all remember, the operator said she wasn't sure that she was in Wilson County. Remember that little part? You had to look. She was right there on the state line. So I wouldn't think it was, I wouldn't think it was that far. And certainly I know, the law enforcement that I work with, they know a lot of the people from the neighboring counties and stuff like that. So I'm just wondering, how far did the influence go? Now, even if it was harder for JP to have that influence in Myrtle Beach, his good buddy Tom Winslow has property up there close to the state park, so he certainly knows, most likely, law enforcement in Robeson County, allegedly. I'm sure that they could work out something if they wanted to. Not saying they did. I think if they wanted to, you know, money talks. Money talks. Hello, Ginger Jones. How are you doing? L. Croft. Hello, hello. All right, so, all right, Buckeye. Robeson County just joined on Patrol TV show. What? They had a murder on the second night. Wow. Patrol TV. I'm gonna have to check that out. You know, again, let me say, for all of y'all who don't know, I love law enforcement. I work with law enforcement. Love those guys to pieces. I don't back corrupt ones, and there are corrupt ones. No matter where. I work with a really good group of people, but sometimes there's an issue, even with us. Even though I think most of them are great guys, sometimes there are issues, all right? But we get rid of ours, all right? They don't stay. They go. All right, so there was that, and I meant to put that in last night's episode, but then let me show you this, because I was, let me see how I want to go with this. Got like 4 different things I want to show you. So I was on, I'm not a big TikToker, although I'm going to start putting stuff on there because, yeah, I need to. But I was actually on Facebook in one of the groups, and I came across, somebody had put this video up. So let me see how to do this one. Let's see if it plays. Can y'all hear this? Okay, I'm gonna stop it for just a minute because I know you can't read this. This is little, and I'm gonna read it out, and then I'm gonna let it play so you can see all of the pictures of these people. All right. What it says is it's not just about Mica, but she is not just solving her murder. She's alerting us to something much more sinister. All of these women were unalived by their pastor husbands. Okay, so all the pictures you're going to see, unalived by their pastor husbands. Okay, but we're not done. Many churches with their own insurance agencies. Now, let me tell you this. I know I've seen it in writing bunches of times, and I didn't think that much about it. I mean, I did a little bit, but I've heard several people that are in groups or whatever that went to Solid Rock that said their insurance, like they had an insurance policy through Solid Rock. Okay. With their own insurance agencies, policies under the church's, I'm sorry, I can't see that. Oh, hold on, let me put my glasses on. I don't know if this is going to help or not, really. Oh, look at there, I can see. Sorry, let me get away from the microphone. All right, all of these women were murdered by their pastor husbands. Many churches with their own insurance agency policies under churches laundered in false LLCs. So much corruption, this is going to take a high level of Americans demanding answers. It runs deep. Okay? Now, y'all know, I've been looking up and done videos on these LLCs. So when I saw this, I'm going to let this play for a second. These are all of the people, all of the women unalived by their pastor husbands, many of them with insurance agencies under a false LLC. Okay, y'all can't see this? Somebody is saying they can't see it. They can only hear the music. Let me make sure. Can y'all see it? Okay, Yelly says she can see it. All right, we're almost done. Okay, so that was the first thing, okay? And Hiawatha asked, where is the list? I don't know. I'm looking for a whole list. Let me share something else with you though. Because I'm going to show you a couple of things. This guy right here, I was just looking up, it made me wonder. So I Googled it. How many, list of pastors who have unalived their wives. Now, I'm going to just take a second here because I thought this one was interesting, but I'm going to show you a partial list. And this, I don't even recognize a lot of people of the pictures I just saw. Hold on. This was in Stillwater, Minnesota. It says his name is Stephen Allwine. And this was in 2016. Okay, I thought this one was more recent because there's a lot of recent ones. But I chose this one because a Minnesota man accused of fatally shooting his wife and staging her death to look like a suicide. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that word. Has been found guilty of premeditated unaliving. Like I can't say that now that I've just said the other one. A jury in Washington County convicted Stephen Allwine Wednesday night, and he will be sentenced on Friday. This was, of course, years ago. It carries a mandatory life prison term. But basically, if you look down here, it says prosecutors said that he drugged his wife before shooting her in a hallway and moving her body to the bedroom where he tried to make her death look like a self-undoing by posing it. Prosecutors argued there were no blood spatters on the bedspread or nightstand next to her body, and the gun was resting on her left elbow, even though she was right-handed. So yeah, basically, he didn't want to go through a divorce because, we all know what the church thinks of that. But let me let me see if you can still see this, because I'm going to go back to make sure you can see what I'm seeing. Okay. I'm going back to my All right, do y'all see me again? Did I just undo myself? I guess we're still live. I don't know what I did. All right, I am going to, let's go back to my Google search. Somebody put in the comments if you can still see me. Or did we stop? I don't see anybody saying anything. Okay, good. Okay, I don't know. That was definitely user error. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. I didn't hit anything. Okay. We're going to go up here to the very top of the list from where I Googled. And this is an article from People Magazine or people.com. This is Killer Clergy, a gallery. A whole gallery. All right, this is in March 18th of 2020. You can look this up. Here we've got a priest. I'm just going to go down to a few of these. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot. Look at all these people. And you know, this is in Texas. This one's in Rome, Georgia. That's not far from me. 2004. I don't even remember that. Huh. Jeez. This is in Wisconsin. Let's look at him. Houston. Now this was in Washington State. And we've even got a rabbi here. Look at there. All right. But you can look at some of those, and I would suggest, honestly, y'all just Google it. But yeah, when I came across that, I'm like, okay, wow. So all of these, but all the ones in this TikTok, we're talking about, and let me tell you who this is, because we're going to watch another TikTok. It's short. It's very interesting. That TikTok her name is Seeress. Okay, Seeress, like a seer, a female seer, seeress of love. And I sent her a message. I'm trying to get a hold of her. I would love to talk to her, whether it's on or off camera. Hello, Alan Coker. But yeah, this is a long list of people unalived. And so, okay, they're talking about the church insurance, and you know what? Like, I didn't even think of this, and I feel really stupid for not. But if they do have their own, some kind of insurance through the church, then Mica had a life insurance policy, didn't she? How much was it, and who is the beneficiary? Because they were not legally divorced yet. And it makes me wonder if he was planning to unalive her, but then she decided to divorce him first, because it would have been better had they been happily married, nobody contesting anything. I just wonder. But yeah, so let me show you another thing. Oh man, it just knocked all of my stuff off. Hold on, I have to pull this one back up. I have to reload this one. Sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I did something or if my computer...
Because I wasn't ready for this, but here we fucking go. Sierra, who is Mica's sister, released some text messages about the incident from November of 2022 when Mica was involuntarily committed. explaining to one of Mica's friends that JP had her cell phone, her car, hacked into her email, and hacked into her Facebook, and also let her know that when that situation happened at Sierra's house, they wanted to file a police report. And the responding officer, who is Heather Wilson, was not allowing them to file a police report, but instead allowed JP to involuntarily have Mica committed. Now, who is Heather Wilson? Let me explain. She is married to the head of security at Solid Rock Church. Just learning the amount of people that JP has in his back pocket is absolutely infuriating and disgusting, and clearly shows how corrupt that whole city really is. And I hope to God that if this is in fact true, Heather Wilson, you lose your fucking job and you lose your badge, and you are never allowed to step foot in a police station ever again, because you may have been the very person that cost this woman her life. You could have been that person that helped her and got her away from the situation, but instead you kept her in it.
Wow. Yeah. So, what do y'all think about that? In last night's live, we had somebody commenting, what was his name? Whit James, who was saying that, that there was a church connection, when he was talking about that. And I mean, I couldn't vet it, but we have another person doing a TikTok saying that Heather Wilson was the police officer, I guess. And so, yeah, that's, man, I don't know. I do not know this woman, so I don't want to cast a whole lot of judgment, okay? I think that was a really bad decision on her part. Obviously being pressured because of, her husband, I guess, working at the church. Is that the way it was? Anyway, the officer made a bad call, okay? And you have to think that that's a heavy weight to carry, all right? So that's why I don't want to be too judgmental, because I don't know. I mean, now, if the officer is still standing by JP, that is a problem. That's a big problem. But if they're not, that is a horrible thing, to make a decision that results ultimately in somebody's, being unalived. When she could have, or he, whichever one was the officer, which they could have made that decision to intervene and help Mica, but they didn't. So, yeah. Well, that's just one that we know. We already know, according to Allison, that the police chief gave him a special badge. So clearly, again, y'all are making this too easy. Y'all are making this case against JP. I'm not complaining. I love it. But you're making it too easy. Let's see. Insurance wouldn't pay off in a self-caused death. Sometimes, Yoli, you're right. Sometimes it would depend on the exclusions. And sometimes it is, okay, that was Heather Miller before marriage. Okay. Heather Miller. Okay. Was she related to family? Let me see what you're saying. Cousin? Maybe. Oh, interesting. Well, that would probably be an even double thing of why she didn't intervene. But yeah, when it comes to insurance policies, and I used to work for it like long time ago, like forever ago. I used to work for a life insurance company, like a really, really big one. And it depends on the policy. There was a guy that I can't remember what the exclusion was or what the time. There was a time period. Okay. I don't know if it was 1 year or 2 years. It was some kind of time period that after this time expired, they would pay for self-unaliving. And this particular person waited until the day after that time period passed and that is what he did. And we had to pay. So it depends. It just depends. Okay, I'm looking at your stuff. So I mean, we keep going into more and more. So now we've got the questionable LLCs. We've got potentially life insurance. We have a history. Sorry, I've got a gnat. Do you see where this is? This is making it really easy. Really, really easy. Man. And the thing of it is, as a Christian person, we all know that, okay, yeah, I'm going to put this up here. We now all know that pastors, I've said this before, getting a divorce is like, it's like a nail in your coffin. I don't think JP wanted a divorce. I think he wanted her. This is just my opinion, okay? Because of all the things that he's potentially involved in, I think he wanted her under his control, whether that was to keep her drugged up, whatever. As long as he could control her and keep her quiet, and she allowed him, maybe she would be in such a state that he could continue his affairs and his ridiculousness. I think that was the plan. Now, so what I'm looking at, because we talk about trafficking all the time. Let me show you this, and I don't know if I've shown you this before. I can't remember. But I found this interesting. So if you've seen it, it's only just a couple of minutes. It's not very long at all.
January is Human Trafficking Prevention and Awareness Month.
And today, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson released the state's 2023 Human Trafficking Report. Officials say SLED opened 357 cases that included nearly 500 potential victims, mostly minors being sex trafficked. The counties with the most cases in 2023 include Richland with 43, Greenville with 34, and Horry and Aiken counties with 24 each.
The data also show that human trafficking cases were opened in 40 counties. There are 46 in the entire state, so only 6 reported no cases. Meanwhile, national human trafficking hotline data showed Greenville and Horry counties had the most reports of human trafficking. Then came Charleston County, with Richland and Spartanburg counties tied for 4th.
That doesn't mean that there's more human trafficking occurring in those 8 counties. That just means that's where people are seeing and identifying and making calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
You can report an incident, or you can seek victim services by calling that number right there on your screen. That's for the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
All right. Let me go back here. Let me see what's going on. Okay. So, Horry County, did they say Horry County or Horry County? I don't know. But anyway, you saw how high they are. Now, what is shocking and disturbing about this is, okay, they're saying that people see it more, they're reporting it more. It's not necessarily the worst one. But let me tell you something. If people are seeing it and reporting it, then there's a lot going on. Because do you know how many people don't notice anything? A lot. Most. The majority. So you see all of these counties, like, you can more than quadruple the amount of people, okay? So you have, so let's just think here. Let's think together. You have a guy who is a narcissist. In my opinion, allegedly, I'm not a psychiatrist. I've dealt with narcissists a lot, so that is why I say this. But clearly, he has no regard for morals, as evidenced by not only by his treatment of Mica, but his treatment of Allison and parading his paramour out in public, where in front of his own children, having the audacity to ask his wife to pray for the paramour's husband, or the paramour, whatever, because her husband passed away. You have somebody who has a police badge, clearly is asking for his record to be expunged because he now wants to buy firearms. This man has no regard for the law. Do y'all see what happened? Where I'm going here. His father has been busted for lascivious acts. Pakistan is saying don't ever send him back. The mission team, the Bible school, where he's committed fraud. JP was raised this way. Violence has been a part of their family, as evidenced not only by JP, but by his oldest son. So you have a guy that really, really believes that there are no consequences to his actions, right? He can do whatever he wants. He's the pastor of Solid Rock. He's got a police badge. He's got the police chief in his pocket. He's got other people in his pocket. He's never had to live with the consequences of his actions. So yeah, they put a little thing on his home computer so he couldn't look at P. All right? Come on. There's a million ways around that. You just can't do it on that computer at home. I don't know if he was or not, but clearly he didn't lose his ability to pastor a church after his many affairs. So this man has never really had to answer for his actions. So why would he think that he would have to answer for Mica's death? He doesn't. He doesn't. He thinks he's got the police in his pocket. Everything's going to stay a secret. It's going to be swept under their rug. And he's saying things like, this quote, I'm telling you, I've got it on my phone. From his interview the other night, let me find it. If y'all saw that, I mentioned it last night. It's Justin on TikTok that he showed up in. And it says, I'm going to put this up on the screen at some point, but not tonight. Quote from JP, all the abuse people are throwing at me. I just pray none of you have to go through what I'm going through. What? Poor you, JP. All the abuse people are throwing at you. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You might just have a tiny bit of understanding of what you have put Allison and Mica through, and probably countless others as you're stalking their businesses, their jobs, their churches, whatever. Because apparently you think you rule the world. And you can do whatever you want. But you can't. Because there's always an end to this. There is always, and especially, a lot of people in the church world, it's karma, whatever. It comes. It's God's judgment. It's God, whatever, however you want to label it. You reap what you sow. That's a law. That's a biblical law. And again, call it karma, whatever. On one side of this existence, either here or in eternity. But it would seem, JP, that yours is starting here, for which we are all very, very grateful that this stuff is coming out, because the amount of abuse that you have put your church members through and your family through, you need to know what it feels like. You need to know what it feels like to not be in control, to not be able to control the narrative and people, and understand that there are consequences to actions. That at some point you are held accountable for what you do to people. And I'm just saying, I saw, I haven't said anything about the protest today. I saw a lot of different creators covering it. I was gone most of the time. I wasn't even at home when all that was going on. But I did see an interview, and I can't remember. I want to tell you the YouTuber is called Steph's. I told myself I'd remember this. Anyway, there was an interview with one of the guys that is supporting JP, and I kind of really almost felt bad for him because all the protesters were talking at once and he was being bombarded, but he did stand there and they showed him, because either he really didn't know, I know this man, don't even know his name, either he really didn't know all the charges and all the things in JP's past, or he was playing dumb. I don't know which, but I'm just going to say to all of you people that continue to support, I agree with what the lady in the video last night, the word that she had of judgment for JP. But look, that goes with it. If you are going to stand there and you are going to defend a pedophile and an adulterer, and that's just the tiniest tip of the iceberg, potentially a perpetrator of an unaliving or having something to do with it, definitely a abuser of people. If you're going to stand there and defend him and stand with him, then be ready to be judged with him. I 100% agree. So if you're one of those people that you are, let's say you're really naive, okay? Because some people are. They're very good-hearted, and I believe that there could be some people that really just believe that what JP is saying is true. What I'm saying is do your research. Look up stuff. It's all in black and white, even his criminal charges. So if you're one of those people that you want to give him the benefit of the doubt and you are really, really sincere, do your research, okay? Because you don't want to fall. When he falls, everybody that supports him is one with him. You don't want to be caught up in this, all right? It's devastating because one will see, and then I don't want you to be in that position where you completely lose your faith and you completely, spiral downwards. Stop now and just listen. Listen to what people are saying. We're not haters. Okay, we're not just hating, making stuff up. Oh, well, he unalived his wife. What we're saying is look at the evidence. Look at the evidence, okay? Because I don't want to see anybody in that position. Let's see. YouTube has a short of Heather Miller with her police officer father, Kip Miller. Oh, okay. What channel is that? I'd like to see. Christy B. Narcissist is nice. I think he's a full-blown con man. I do too. Absolutely, 100%. And again, I think that we're going to find an element of trafficking, moving people, whatever. I cannot, geographically speaking, with all of this other money being pigeonholed in places nobody knows about, I think we're going to find a link there. That's my opinion. I will be shocked if there's not. Because I think even if there isn't, I think they were well on their way to doing that. But I think it's most likely that Wayne also did it, and JP, he likes the little girls, and I don't know what else he likes. I don't know. I mean, we've heard what Mica said about his deviant activities. Maybe he likes everybody. Maybe they should check the church computer. Yeah, they probably should. You're right. He does. He does sound like a mob boss. Oh, I do have that on my phone, Melanie. Robbie Harvey showed a pic of police presence at Solid Rock about 2 hours ago. I saw that right before I went on live, and I didn't have time to upload it. And I didn't know what time of the day that was. I didn't know if it was like during the protest just to make sure that everything stayed calm. But 2 hours ago would have been way after that, right? Let's see. Hiawatha says, if I read that custody filing correctly, his own daughter wasn't permitted to have overnighters with him. You know, that shows you a lot right there, right? Trafficking has always been my MO in Delphi. Yeah, trafficking of many different things. I think so too. So, I mean, I don't know. In a wild, crazy turn of events, could some people be affiliated in these cases? I mean, stranger things have happened. The fact that you have law enforcement involved, and I don't know how far that goes up. You have businessmen. Let's think what we learned about the cartels. Remember, back to Delphi, you had the trafficking of substances, and you had the kingpin, kind of the smaller leader. You have the enforcers. You have law enforcement, businessmen. Wow. Seems like all these characters are showing up in this case too. Not necessarily the same ones, but could it be? Could it be the same kind of blood money? I'm just saying. I would not be surprised. In fact, I would be surprised if it's not. You need a plane? Really? You can't drive? Or you can't take a cheap flight? No, you can't if you want to move something. You want to go into a small airport. So if you didn't hear my rant about that last night, that's what I was saying. You've got a plane? Your church doesn't need a $400,000 plane for you to go to certain cities, certain states. I want to know. Why do you need that plane so bad? So now you can't get in the church without knowing a member. Well, you know what? I know it's bad for people who want to investigate, but I'm kind of happy about that, Greg. Y'all stay away. Yes, even our own government is involved in trafficking, moving humans. Absolutely, 100%. Yes, Alan, the cartel is operating in every state. Every state. Yes, thank you, Melanie. Staff's Case Files is the channel that had the man talking to the demonstrators. I watched a few minutes of that. Yeah, what does he need the plane for? Good question. No, it wouldn't be the first church to have a plane. It just, it just, to me, I don't know what it's wanted. Do you have that many speaking engagements? You can't, but $400,000, you know how many plane trips you could take? Because that's just the initial cost. It's a lot of maintenance on a plane. There's a lot of cost, a lot of maintenance. It ain't cheap. That's why I keep saying, I think it wasn't just I want to look important, so I've got my own private plane. I think there was another reason to need a plane. Buckeye says, CJ Crime Concepts also covered the demonstration today. Yeah, I saw that he was going to do that. I was out of the house so early, I didn't see it. I've got a lot to catch up on, a lot. I had, it's funny. I didn't even know a protest was going on this weekend, Buckeye, but this was the weekend that about 3 weeks ago I had planned to go to South Carolina, not even knowing that. And I just have some things around here that I really need to, it's expensive. Plus, I wouldn't have been able to stay over one day. So I'm thinking if as this case goes on, I might go. I have some friends in North Carolina. I'd like to take a longer time off and jump up to Charlotte and see a really, really good friend of mine that I haven't seen in years. So I wanted to do it not so scattered. Yeah, so anyway, tell me what you think. All right, show of hands, or let's do numbers. Okay, let's do numbers. Put a number 1 if you think this corruption and this whatever, all the filth is contained pretty much just around JP and Mica. And, I know that includes, maybe law enforcement cover up, whatever, people who are helping. But put a 1 up if you think it's just revolves around basically Solid Rock Church. Put a 2 up if you think that this goes further into other areas, like I'm thinking. Trafficking, other crimes. I'd like to, so I'm going to kind of take a poll. What do you think? Christy, you're in North Carolina. Where are you at? CJAG says 2. Hiawatha 2. Christy B 2. Alan. Yoli. Wow. Samantha says tentacles. It's organized. Okay, so I'm not. It just made me wonder. Y'all are sitting here listening to me, and I'm like, am I just, am I, off my rocker? Oh, you're in the Outer Banks. You're in a nice place. Yeah. That's what I think. And I didn't start out thinking that. Again, I started out thinking that this was just a malignant narcissist who had abused his wife so bad that either she did this or he caused her to do this. Or I never thought that she just did it without any help or any pressure. Never saw this case and just thought, okay, well, she was depressed and that's sad. No, I never did. And as we're going, you just start following the money trail. And it just keeps on and it keeps on. All right. Well, so far we're 100%. So far we're 100% at 2s. Samantha, there had to be plans in advance for the mess to keep getting covered up and involving too many. Oh, yeah. I heard he possibly hired someone. Hey, that could happen too. I saw somewhere today. Okay, so I this is just rumor. Okay, I don't usually throw out rumor, but I did see this on a comment that somebody made on Facebook that there was a person at the games in where was it, Charleston, that he was at that day JP was at, that said he was 100% not there, but yet his truck was seen. So I don't know. I'm sure that we will find out. Okay, I'm sure somebody will come forward. I agree, Hiawatha. We've all seen enough BS to call BS when we see it. Yeah, 100%. All right. I'm going to, just so y'all know, I don't think I'm going to do a live tomorrow, except for members only. And probably we're just going to chat and have some fun. I don't know. Unless, like today, I just kept finding stuff on Mica. So if there's something like we really need to talk about, I will absolutely go live and then do members only after. So, yeah, this is this case to me And y'all know I've been all wrapped up in Delphi. But this case to me is way... It affects me so much deeper even than Delphi, okay? I want justice for this whole family. And most of all, I want all of the truth to come out. And it is time. It is time to stop the, not just the corruption, but the abuse. Because the abuse wasn't just to Mica, all right? And it takes more than just a pastor to abuse people. You have to have elders and deacons and other people that buy into that and enforce that. Okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. People are hurting. And it's got to stop. So we'll talk so much more about this. Anyway, I hope you all have a beautiful Sunday night and enjoy everything. Start your week off. All right. Anything else I forgot to say? Stay safe. Whatever you do, for heaven's sakes, stay silky. All right. Bye-bye.